Whilst there certainly is a darkness in the UK, there's certainly darkness in London, the capital city. I was inspired to create this video after seeing another chap make a video about how there is darkness in the UK overall. And whilst I agree with that, and there's certainly some points to it, and I've discussed the UK in previous videos, I decided to hone in and focus on London. And the reason why is because I live in London, I was born and raised here, and perhaps you might be able to identify on your end what it's like living in a city, no matter where you are in the world, especially in the West. So recently, as of literally a week ago, I decided to get out of London and go to the countryside, the Cotswolds in particular. I love the countryside. I love going on vacation, especially in the UK. And I love getting out of the city. And when we get out of town, when we go away, everything changes. My mood changes, my taste and lust for life, my appetite, my energy levels, everything. Of course, when you're not working and in the hustle and bustle and the rat race and surrounded by people in London, it makes a very good change. But we went out and we ate out and we interacted with people, we saw people, we relaxed. And those 2 or 3 days we were out of London, again in a very nice area. Cotswold is very countrysidey. It's quite affluent in certain parts as well. But it's still the UK. It's only a few hours away from London. But it's a completely different kettle of fish. People are happier there. People are more relaxed. People are living a completely different life just a few hours away. Now, of course, in other parts of the UK, they're suffering. It's worse than London and so on. But let's focus on that darkness here in particular. There was no darkness for me in the countryside. People smile at you. In traffic, no one honks their horn. They actually give way to you. When you go out to eat, you're met with good service. Yes, in some places things can be quite expensive, but you're not eating crap. You're eating local produce. You're eating from local farms. You're treated with respect. It felt like England again. Now, I've been in this country all my life. I'm going to be 38 years of age this year. But I have forgotten what England and Great Britain used to be like. I've forgotten what communities were like, what local people, what friendliness was like. Because I've grown up in London and been around London way too long. And these past few years, in particular, since 2020 as well, it's gotten worse. As somebody who used to love to get on the train or the bus and go to central London, as someone who used to like the shops, the bars, the buzziness, like everything about it, I hate it now. I had to go to central London recently to meet some friends, and I couldn't wait to come home. I live on the cusp of London, on the outskirts, in the suburbs, and yes, whilst it's the suburbs, it's still London. I'm not exaggerating when I say this. When I returned back from the Cotswold last week, the following things happened to me. First of all, my stress levels went up. My blood pressure went up as well. I was more anxious. The water was so harsh and so grim that I actually had an infection as a result of it. And then, of course, my sleep went badly and I just felt awful. And here's a really scary thing as well. There was talk about pollution in London. Again, I'm in the suburbs, okay? The pollution gave me a migraine and a headache, and I had a nosebleed. My lungs, my body, got used to, for only 2 or 3 days, the fresh air of the countryside. That is how different it is. And again, I'm not in central London. I don't live in Piccadilly Circus or by Big Ben. I'm on the suburbs. I'm on the outskirts, okay? And London is probably physically killing me. I remember being served by somebody who had a small tea room. We had breakfast there. It was beautiful. And I asked the lady there, who was friendly, happy, "Where are you from?" She said, "I'm actually from Lebanon, but I came over to the UK many years ago." I said, "Oh, wow. Where did you live before?" She goes, "I used to live in London." I said, "Oh, God." And she goes, "And I had health problems. I was racially abused. I hated it. And then I moved here 10, 15 years ago, and I've never looked back." I contemplated that statement and thought to myself, Is the grass greener? Because that's how we always say, well, the grass is greener. You've got to get out of this country. You've got to move abroad. And again, the UK is broken right now for many reasons. But let's focus on the darkness of London and why it's going so much worse. Of course, politics plays a big part. We don't have the best mayor. We don't have the best governments. This all plays a massive factor. But let's talk about the personal effects on people as well. In that other video, that chap said he felt uncomfortable on the train. Well, I felt uncomfortable on the train as well, because everyone is miserable. When you go to a place where everybody smiles, everyone's looking at you, and of course you get some miserable people here and there, people are friendlier and happier. The second you step back into London, everyone's miserable. Everyone's got an agenda. Everyone is selfish. This doesn't just apply to strangers. This can even apply to friends and family. There is underlying jealousy and enviousness and toxic behaviors behind people in and around London. Remember, I did a little experiment on myself. My stress levels through the roof. My anxiety returned. I felt really dirty after having a shower. I broke out in an infection from the water. And again, I didn't have any sleep. And I even had a nosebleed because my lungs and airwaves were used to that fresh air. And don't get me started on the food. We had a healthy dinner, but it tasted nothing like what I was used to. Now, this is an advert for the Cotswold. This isn't telling you to move to the countryside. This is exposing the darkness here. That London has become a cesspit, has become an entitled place, a selfish place, a toxic place. And I've got a lot of comments on my videos of other people saying, Tokyo is the same. California is the same. Stockholm is the same. Wherever they live, it's the same. It's become incredibly hard to be optimistic, to be passionate, to have energy and health, which is so important, to just survive in life. I've not even touched on the cost of living. I believe the cost of living has gone astronomical all over the UK. Cotswold was not cheaper. But bloody hell, do I get more value for my money in a place like that than London? My mood changed the second I drove into my driveway. Everything changed. And again, I live in a green part. It's very suburby. It's right on the cusp. But it still feels like London. London now has become such a dark, horrible place that no matter where you live in it or how you live in it, it's going to get you, it's going to trap you, and God forbid, it's going to kill you. But that's the problem. We can't enjoy simple things anymore. And everyone is out for themselves. Just go on a train, a bus, go out in central London, go out in London anywhere, and see the misery on people's faces. See the envy, the jealousy. Listen to the conversations. Everybody moans. Everybody complains. And everyone has an agenda. When I went to the Cotswold, the agenda didn't exist. People were getting on with their lives. It was simple pleasures. A dog walk. Producing anything like a food, a sandwich, breakfast, whatever. It was just getting on with your life and enjoying it. People say this slow, remote living, these countryside places, whatever, is dull and boring. It's different, it's healthier, and you'll be happier as well. I couldn't believe how physically and mentally I changed by literally coming back. And the man I was before that trip and coming back and then seeing that video made me realize just how much worse it's getting. We can blame immigration. I'm a child of immigrants, by the way. We can blame social media, whatever. But it's just gone to hell. If you are in London, if you are watching this video and in a city where you feel the same, you feel isolated, you feel scared, crime is up, you feel just like you're going nowhere, let me give you some advice. Get out. Get out, even just for a day. 2 days. Get out. You don't have to go on a plane. Just get out. And you're in a country, remember. Go and experience a different town or place, and then see if it's the country, or see it's where you're living. Then ask yourself these questions. Is this the future I want? Is this the place I want to be? I can see the writing on the wall, but I'm going to moan and complain about it. Am I going to do something about it? For me, as I live in London for the time being, which won't be for the foreseeable future, I have to make do with it. I have to carry on with it. But trust me, I am making plans and staying as far away from London as possible. What am I missing out on? Literally, a clock in Westminster, busy tourists, protests all the time, knife crime through the roof, miserable faces, selfishness, a rat race and transport system that's going to hell. Yeah, no thanks. The further out I get, the happier I'll be. It's slower, it's more remote, it's more peaceful, and it's better. It's time that you realize the darkness of where you are and realize that it's not just you. This is a societal thing. This is people in general. You don't deserve this. You've got one life. Do you want to be miserable? Do you want to be scared? Tread on eggshells? Or do you want to actually take charge and realize, actually, there are places where I could be so much happier. All I've got to do is find out where that is. And not just happier, healthier as well. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe and hit the bell notification. If you'd like to connect with me, I offer one-on-one coaching calls. Check out the link in the description below. Also, do me a favor, share this video with someone who you think would really gain value from the message that's in it. Thanks for watching.